Clive Barker is well known for his books, his movies, and some even consider him a horror legend. But in 2007, he decided to release something truly special.
The more I developed Jericho, the more clear it became to me that this wanted to be a game.
Jericho is one of those games you either forgot about or had no clue it existed, especially considering people did not like the game at the time whatsoever, and it getting pulled from Steam due to licensing. For me, however, my memory of the game is insanely blurry due to only playing the 360 demo back in the day because I was too scared to fully commit to buying the full version. I was like 7 years old, by the way. But imagine if you combined magic, guns, and the twisted mind of Clive Barker. Yeah, that's Jericho.
Jericho differs from other games out there by being really visceral, in your face, hard combat. There's blood, there's guts, there's gore, and it's really frantic, adrenaline pumping action from the get-go.
Working alongside Mercury Steam and Codemasters, Clive Barker produced something both insane but beautiful, going down in history as one of the most unique and horribly good horror games ever made. I actually managed to pick up the Steelbook version of the game too, but unlike the US copy, it didn't come with the extra behind the scenes DVD, which literally makes no sense, but it did come with the cool little image vault art book. Why do I spend my money on this shit? Anyways, without further ado, let's dive into the madness of Clive Barker's Jericho. Jericho starts with the main character Captain Devon Ross walking hand in hand with a child, or whatever the hell that thing is, in the middle of a desert overlooking a storm.
It's happening again.
I mean, it kind of looks like one of those baby alien toys, you know what I mean?
Where is this? This is where it
I'll hide it.
This isn't real.
It's as real as your soul. Help me.
If you didn't know already, Ross is voiced by the one and only Steve Blum, better known as Tank Dempsey from COD Zombies and Spike from Cowboy Bebop. An absolute legend. Ross wakes up from the trippy baby alien dream at 3 AM to a phone call by the Department of Occult Warfare, or the DOW for short.
You felt it too.
So in his tighty whities, he heads to the airfield to investigate a supernatural anomaly in the ancient city known as Al-Khali. By the way, Al-Khali is an actual desert in the real world and is mysterious today, as it's practically a wasteland, so it's pretty fitting for this to be the starting place of the story.
They call us the Jericho Squad.
For the first time, meeting up with Jericho Squad founded by the DOW, which includes Ross himself, Paul Rawlings, Simone Cole, Frank Delgado, Abby Black, Xavier Jones, and Billy Church, with their three primary directives being advise and provide intelligence to the US intelligence community through the use of psionics and other occult means, defend the United States and its allies from threats classified as paranormal, extraterrestrial, or beyond scope of perceived reality, and finally remain in constant 24-hour alert in the event of Operation Godseal.
Each of us is a specialist in one of the arcane arts. The Army calls what we do covert occult warfare. It's just a fancy euphemism for witches with guns. There was a time when the church would have burned people like us as heretics and monsters. Now, we fight their wars for them.
So yeah, they're not just any ordinary bog standard military team, more like if Harry Potter was given a machine gun. Whilst on the way to Al-Khali, Rawlings explains the history of the city, with it being the cause of 4,000 years of bloodshed and human conflict, and that the DOW has set up a research facility there, also known as Outpost Vigil. He also explains that a man called Arnold Leach, a former researcher for the DOW and his quote Brotherhood of the Dark Rapture, have been committing heinous acts of terrorism across the world trying to gain access to Al-Khali, and have recently attacked the research facility there, so Jericho's mission is to investigate the ruins and take out Leach and his Brotherhood before they can open the breach, which could trigger the apocalypse. So yeah, pretty high stakes.
Wake up, Frank.
We there yet?
Ross gets visions of the baby alien child once again, and due to the storm, Jericho are forced to land just outside the city.
See you at the LZ.
You waiting for an invitation, Jericho? Go, go, go!
Getting a nice look at Delgado's massive bean head. After learning to walk and look around with the power of left stick and right stick, the squad head through the ruins, led by the one and only Captain Ross.
Alpha, Omega, form 2 fire teams and follow me!
Ross then gets contacted by Colonel Acklin, informing him that the research facility was attacked 2 days ago, and the people there were overrun and left a transmission.
The facility at Al-Khali is under attack. Send reinforcements as soon as possible. Hurry, please. We can't hold it off for long.
After the transmission, the sandstorm appeared and cut off all communication. We then learned the basics: how to perform melee attacks, how to reload, how to shoot firing modes, and of course, how to shoot. Just in case you've never played a game in your entire life, Blacklin uses her telekinetic powers to open up a doorway.
Maybe I should have kept that desk job.
The squad head inside the tunnel and we're hit with a wall of text. Yeah, so they pretty much try to explain a bunch of the story through these loading screens after every section throughout the game, which is kind of disappointing to be honest, but hey ho, I don't mind a bit of reading. I literally failed English in school, by the way. Once inside, the squad come across an ancient mural with Sumerian imagery and Aramaic writing.
The gateway to paradise is unlocked with the souls of the innocent and the blood of gods.
But then the squad run for their lives and were thrown into a quick time event. Yeah, it wouldn't be a 2007 Xbox 360 game without some quick time events. If I'm being honest, I had no clue there were QTEs in this game and they're just randomly shoved in there in places you do not expect. But I managed to not fail it whatsoever. Maybe I'm just built different, I don't know. Anyways, after that near-death experience, Jericho head through some grotesque tunnels, using the flashlight to light the way and coming across whatever that is.
What a mess.
Eventually heading outside, arriving at the lost city of Valkyrie, but it seems like the storm is gone. Kinda weird, but the team push on either way.
Feeling anything, Jones?
Ross orders Cole to do a comm sweep and we learn how to order the rest of the team with squad commands. You'll quickly realize that the squad command system in this game isn't the greatest, but for a forgotten hidden gem, it ain't too bad. In the distance, the team witnessed some, I don't even know what they are, heading towards them.
I don't think they're alive, sir.
Despite them looking like literal monsters, Ross still orders the team not to fire. Say hi to the cultists. These are the main enemies placed throughout this game, having amputated limbs covered with sharp objects, even being able to fling their bladed arms at you and reel them back in. They're not much of a threat though, as you can easily take them out.
We're moving.
Also, when you take out an enemy, a swarm of flies consume their bodies. Don't worry, that will make sense the further we get into the story.
By the grace of God.
The team get to some debris and
Is it Christmas already?
the checkpoints in Jericho are insanely generous, and I don't mean that the game is littered with them, but that every single time you reach a checkpoint, your ammo gets replenished. And I mean every single time. And this is because Cole actually uses their abilities to rewind time on their weapons to replenish the squad's ammo at every checkpoint. This is a way the developers dealt with the problem of finding random ammo crates scattered around in video games being super unrealistic. Ross then asked Cole what she found on the comm suite, but unfortunately she found nothing, and Jericho's squad are completely cut off from the outside.
We should abort.
With Delgado, Cole and Jones split off from the team, Ross goes over the plan, find the command center and recover the surveillance data from the attack. Hopefully it's that simple. Rawlings informs Ross that Agent Green is in charge of the facility, so that's the person they need to link up with. So they make their way there, coming across more cultists.
Yeah, that's what they all say, man.
Did I forget to mention the Jericho one-liners? Don't worry, you'll hear quite a lot of them in this video. After taking out a few bladed loonies and coming across some poor guy being tortured, Black uses her forced push once again, coming across the demon baby from the start of the game,
We've been expecting you.
wanting the team to follow it. So they do, because of course you just follow a random demon alien baby around. That is totally normal, right? More cultists fighting later, the child leads the squad to the door of the research facility.
Ice crystals. The ground's frozen.
A blood sigil? That's serious magic.
And because Church has a PhD in blood sigils, she uses her magic to unbind the door and they head inside. Well, not all of them.
You two hang back. Neat trick.
So alongside Rawlings, Ross heads deeper into the facility. There's many instances of splitting up throughout the game, and I kind of like it considering I have no friends in real life, so only being limited to one or two or sometimes no fellow squad members, specifically none, relates heavily to my real life.
Amen.
The duo head inside the room and are greeted with Muriel Green shoving a gun in their faces.
I said drop the goddamn gun now!
After some back and forth, Green recognizes Rawlings and they have a moment together.
Are you hurt?
Turns out Leech has already opened the breach. Haha, that rhymed. But then Jones contacts Ross, informing him that they need backup ASA freaking P.
Alpha needs backup.
But Rawlings, being the simp he is, wants to stay with Green.
We can't leave her here.
I'm not asking.
The duo head outside, leaving Green to recover the data, meeting up once again with the Goth mummies, and they make their way to Jones, Cole, and Delgado to provide support. But on the way, say hi to the explosive cultists. The cultist stepbrother, and by the name, you already know what they do. Covered with infected pustules, or whatever the hell that word is, and emitting volatile poisonous gases, their weakness being these big yellow pustules, or what, I don't even know how do I say that word? These monstrosities are probably one of the most annoying enemies in this entire game, literally ending your life in one explosion. Not fun at all. I do want to mention the combat in this game is nothing to write home about. It's alright, I guess, but the gunplay has that exact amount of jank to it that makes me miss this era of gaming. But combined with the abilities, oh baby, that's what makes it unique. But we'll get to that in a bit, don't you worry. Now that the entire squad are together again, Rawlings attempts to contact Green but is unsuccessful, so Ross orders Cole to recover the data herself.
fast.
I have no idea what you just said.
We learn even more squad commands, learning how to order both Alpha and Omega team with the D-pad. By the way, Jericho squad is divided into two teams, Alpha and Omega. Omega includes Ross, Rawlins, Church, and Black, and Alpha includes Delgado, Jones, and Cole. Tons of unaliving later. The squad come across some ruins covered in blood. Signature Clive Barker gore right there, and trust me, this game has a lot of it. More shooty-wooty action. Green finally contacts the squad.
They're coming into the bunker! Oh, hurry!
Pick it up, guys, double time. Jericho squad get to the door, seeing it blown open, and head inside. According to the wall of text, Leech is one step ahead and had someone to infiltrate the DOW from the inside, feeding him information, so of course, this was his doing. The team fight their way through a bunch of cultists, finally arriving at the room where they last left Green, and she isn't looking the best, to be honest. Turns out Rawlins has been more than a friend to her, if you know what I mean. But before he has time to mourn, cultists start spawning in and the squad are forced to fight off waves and waves of enemies in one of the longest fights known to man. This game loves to throw countless enemies in your face, I swear to God. Corden explains the data she received.
Al-Khali sits atop a 7-point intersection of ley lines. Leech has pinpointed this intersection and made a substantial blood sacrifice to open the dimensional rift.
So pretty much the portal, or breach as they like to call it, can only be opened by insane amounts of negative karma, which is why he's been committing those awful acts across the world, and also why his quote brotherhood are these messed up cultist monsters. By the way, the reason the cultists look the way they do is that they performed a bloody ritual, inflicting horrible wounds on each other. But the explosive cultists took it a step further and used chemical and bacteriological weapons to increase the quality of their ritual death, adding even more negative karma.
You almost sound impressed.
I am.
You're sick.
Cole then finds the exact location of the breach, also detecting something coming through it. So the squad head out and are contacted by Leech himself. What a nice wheelbarrow. Tons of fighting later and reviving teammates. Yeah, Ross is a psychic healer. Pretty swaggy. Oh yeah, and they come across some BS explosive cultist corridor death trap.
Amen.
The squad get to a ritualistic area with massive creepy statues, but because I have the worst luck known to man when it comes to games, a whole load of nothing happened. So I walked around aimlessly till I just gave up and restarted the checkpoint, forcing me back into replaying the entire section again. I love my life so much. Triggering the checkpoint finally. Out of nowhere, some flying demons spawn in. Say what gone to the flying cultists. Skin peel from their backs and sections ripped from their backbones, creating the wings they fly around with, having no guts, bones, or anything, carrying shields to protect them and using their claws to attack. Overall, they're not the hardest enemy to defeat. Rawlins explains that Operation Godseal is the reason Jericho exists, and we get some explanation on what the frick is going on.
God couldn't destroy his first creation, so he locked it away, banished from the earth so he could start over again. Then he made mankind, and he gave us flaws to keep the balance right. But the firstborn was jealous.
So pretty much whatever is on the other side of the breach is not very good. The child then spawns in and calls out to Ross to set it free. And because Ross is a dumbass, he hops on the stone slab and gets jump scared by Leech.
You're all witches and heretics the same as us. You know what they do to witches, don't you?
Yeah, he's definitely seen better days. Looks like he's turned into some bulging-eyed freak of nature, a visual representation of his corruption. And he absolutely destroys Ross, ripping him apart and dropping him.
Oh, shit!
Rawlins tries his best to heal him, but unfortunately, it's not good enough.
We're losing him!
Ross dies, and Jericho have no choice but to head inside the breach. But in the box, death has a different meaning, which is where they are, by the way, if you didn't know. Turns out Ross is inside Delgado. Pause.
I think I'm in him.
Rawlins shoves his Glocks in Delgado's face until he realizes Ross is actually inside Delgado. Pause.
Well, no shit.
So yeah, turns out Ross is now in spirit form and can control each member, so Rawlins asked him to test his new ability by going inside Black. Pause. And he does just that. We gain access to her telekinetic abilities and a sniper rifle, one of my favorite characters to use. But Delgado fails at comedy once again.
You finally know what it's like to have a man inside you.
And just because of that, we switch back to Delgado and learn how to use his flame spirit ability, Abablini, which is an actual Chickasaw legend, a fire spirit from Native American mythology. He also wields a badass minigun, so you already know I'ma be abusing this gun throughout this entire game. Church then gives permission for Ross to go inside of her. Pause. Gaining access to her Blood War powers and her badass sword alongside her SMG. Definitely one of the most useful characters in my opinion. The team head outside a bunker, and from the surroundings, it looks like they've traveled back in time to the Second World War in in 1942. So time travel is a huge part of this game and is definitely a great concept to make it stand out amongst the crowd, but obviously it wasn't enough to grant it success, sadly. Ross then gets permission to go inside Cole, pause, wielding a beautiful X-86 assault rifle. The team fight their way through trenches of cultists, coming across a new enemy, the machine gunner, fitting straight into the World War II theme. The tortured minds and bodies of young soldiers fused into one single body, creating a grotesque combination of flesh and metal, with one of the limbs acting as a 30mm multi-tube machine gun with 6 barrels. These monstrosities are pretty annoying, but can be easily taken down by Sniper Goth Mummy. After some machine gunner unaliving and catching up with one of my mates, the squad get to some kind of no man's land littered with machine gunners and turrets.
Holy Mary, Mother of God!
So this is kind of embarrassing to say, but I tried to do this section without using Cole's slowed down time power, purely because I had no clue you could do that. And believe it or not, I actually owned the guidebook for Jericho, which I did not use whatsoever whilst playing, so that's probably why I had no clue how to use half of these characters. I think I just suck at video games in general, like I probably should quit this channel. Anyways, Cole uses a slowed down time ability to get behind the turrets and dashes some grenades in, blowing them sky high. But out of nowhere,
welcome to the Path of Souls.
Giving a slight introduction to the big baddie of the World War II era, Lichthammer, forcing us into another QTE. Cole picks up her weapon, then Delgado and Rawlins have a little falling out for no real reason.
I didn't sign up for no fucking suicide mission. If you're gonna point that at me, you better use it.
I mean, I kinda respect him for going through with shooting him, to be honest. Cole then revives Rawlins using Ross's revive ability.
How long was I out?
Despite literally shooting the guy, they keep on bickering.
You accidentally discharged your weapon.
That was no accident.
But then they're interrupted by Lichthammer, showing herself for the first time. Say hi to the sadistic Nazi Hannah Lichthammer, a psychic commander, interrogator, and torturer, dressed in leather and a patch over her eye as a souvenir from a confrontation with Jericho's allied forerunners. She disrespects the squad. And we're thrown into one of the saddest boss battles ever, where she tries to kick whilst the team sprays about 20 trillion bullets in her disgusting face, till she gets scared and disappears due to some random soldiers.
I don't know who those guys are, but they have my thanks.
Ross then gets permission to go inside Rawlins, pause, learning how to use his different firing modes on his 2 pistols, Faith and Destiny, where you can switch between standard bullets, explosives, and fragments. Also unlocking his healing ability, making him a vital character throughout this game. I think I genuinely just suck. I mean, to be fair, this game has cheats, but 1, I'm not a cheater, and 2, you have to ring up a number to even get cheat codes. Like, I'm genuinely being serious. You have to ring up a number to get cheats, and it costs £1 a minute. £1 a minute? You're actually taking the piss, right? Anyways, after losing my mind in this section for about 30 minutes straight, the squad get to a sewage tunnel, switching to Delgado and unlocking his fire shield ability. By the way, most characters have 2 abilities just in case 1 wasn't enough. Coming across a new enemy type, the flamethrower, the flesh and metal of several men and heavy infantry fused into this horrific beast. But unlike the machine gunner, the flamethrower has, you guessed it, a flamethrower, making them a little bit more annoying than their counterpart. The squad easily take it down and head further into the sewers, heading outside and fighting through waves of enemies. The child spawns in again, wanting the squad to follow, so they do just that and arrive at a gate.
I wanted to see her. The one you call Jones.
Ross then gets permission to go inside the final Jericho member, Jones. Pause. Having the exact same weapon as Ross did in the beginning. Either the developers couldn't be asked to make a unique weapon for Jones, or realize how cool the shotgun assault rifle was to lose. I don't know. It also could be something to do with Jones being in close command to Ross, but I'm betting on it being the shotgun is cool. Unlike Ross though, Jones has an astral projection ability, which is only useful in certain scenarios where you're forced to use him to open levers and stuff like that, making him one of my least favorite characters to use. Jones opens up the gate and they head through, meeting up with some British soldiers that are pretty chill.
Who are you?
Right now, you're probably thinking, what the hell is even going on and how are they even in World War II? Don't worry, the British lads have got you.
If you die, the flies take you, and when you return, you may look human, but you belong to the firstborn. God creates this thing, discovers it's too bloody powerful, and decides to wipe it off the face of the earth. But he can't kill it, so he creates the Pixies. This box, if you like. It's like a little slice of reality was carved out as a toy box, and we're the toys.
They're rudely interrupted by some machine gunners and are forced to fight them off, whilst Corporal Barndon explains that if the breach isn't closed, the mortal world would essentially be screwed. A ton of fighting later, the squad meet up with Tuck, and Lieutenant Robertson explains that the bad guys built a gateway to the next level of the Pixies over the ruins, and Tuck rigged the place to explode if they're ever overrun.
They got tuck!
So we took now a pile of British bones, we switched to black and used her ghost bullet ability to fire on the C4, setting off the explosives to cover their escape. So to get to the next breach and reach the next time slice, the squad need to find Lichthammer.
Looks like you're gonna have to get your hands on Lichthammer if you're gonna get out of here.
A ton of unaliving later, Jericho squad arrive outside her fortress, which is heavily guarded by a new enemy type, the Grenader, using ranged mortar attacks with the mortal shell encrusted in their backs, also wielding a sharp machete blade in place of their forearm. So with the power of Jones's astral projection, he blows open the entrance to Lichthammer's base. Whilst Church, Rawlins and Cole go after Mrs. Hannah Lichthammer, the rest of the squad stay behind with the British lads to lead a diversionary assault to draw off some of the defenders. Pretty smart move. Cole, Rawlins and Church fight their way through the dark corridors of Lichthammer's base and finally arrive at the heart of Lichthammer's hideout.
How's your faith today, Father?
Throwing us into another boss battle with the leathered Nazi. Just like before, this battle is easy peasy, and Church uses her Blood Ward ability to hold her in place. They tie her up,
Your pimp has taught you well.
and Rawlins steps closer whilst Lichthammer taunts them. Rawlins performs an exorcism of some sorts on the foul demon, forcing us into another QTE where Lichthammer gets a bit hungry. With the exorcism finished, Rawlins realizes that she was the key to opening the next breach, and she somehow absorbed the next level of the Pyxis.
It's inside of her.
Rawlins commands Church to rejoin the others whilst he takes Lichthammer to the gateway. Back with the rest of the Jericho squad, they fight through a ton of enemy defenders, arriving outside of the gateway and using Jones's astral projection ability once again to blow open the way through. Rawlins caused Church to climb up the gateway, performing some epic parkour moves, and meets up with Rawlins, Cole and Lichthammer herself. And because Church is the only one that passed Sanguomancy class, she spills Lichthammer's blood, opening the gateway.
Please! Help me, Philomena!
Only my daddy called me Wilhelmina. My name's Billy.
The British lads stay behind just in case Jericho's squad don't succeed and can't close the breach. Very British of them to be so pessimistic. I wonder what's on the other side of the breach.
Did he say Templars?
What sorcery is this?
Heading inside the breach, the squad go back to the time of the Crusades, 1213 AD, surrounded by medieval castles and flaming catapults fitting straight into the time period. This setting was 100% the main selling point for the game, considering it's in most of the promotional material for Jericho, and even a section of the area being in the Xbox 360 demo.
Jesus Christ on a crutch!
After fighting some flying cultists, we gain access to Rawlins' second ability, where you can drain enemies' health to heal the squad, which I used a total of this one time. The squad head through pools of blood, coming across corpses on spikes, and Black uses her telekinetic powers once again to get rid of some rubble, allowing the squad to pass through to what is certain to be a death trap, as out of nowhere, say hello to the corpse's behemoth, literally being made out of decomposing corpses forming one collective body and mind. This isn't the hardest enemy, as all you have to do is take cover from the red mist of decomposed blood and infected chunks it spews out of its mouth, and shoot the fasteners on its mask to eliminate the monster. The squad head around the corner and... two behemoths to take down, yay! I actually hate my life. After taking those out, the team push on and... another one, really? I don't know if it's my pure incompetence or my lack of intelligence, but I was shooting at the behemoth for a good 10 minutes before I realized you had to use Church to perform a quick time event and take it down. Wow, I love this game. Throwing 3 back-to-back encounters of the same exact enemy type is truly innovative. Am I right? The squad come across a drawbridge and use Jones once again to pull a lever. That's pretty much all he's useful for. But this time, Delgado gets to be in the spotlight, as he's the only one strong enough to lift open the gate, allowing the squad to pass over the bridge. But out of nowhere, a flying cultist spawns in and destroys the bridge, causing Rawlins, Cole and Jones to fall to wherever the hell that leads to.
They belong to the children now.
Who the hell is this? Delgado, Church and Black follow the Crusader into the castle, but he isn't as nice as he seems.
It's a trap!
They've been hoodwinked. Arnold Leach himself flies in and thanks the Crusader for his service, as he believes he's talking to Seraphim Gabriel for some reason. I mean, I guess in those times, angels were depicted as pretty scary beings, so it works for the time period, but damn boy, you're stupid AF!
I'm gonna eat your soul.
The Crusader runs away and the trio head through the dungeons to find a way out, fighting their way through cultists along the way and force pushing bridges, till the team hear crying.
Does anyone else hear that?
Black breaks down the wall and they're met with a prisoner chained up who has definitely seen better days. He then gives us a bit of a backstory.
Malthius had convinced the Pope that Christian children could not be harmed by heathen spear tip or arrow, and so a child army arrived 3 days before us and marched against the Saracens. The blood from their slaughter opened the breach.
Pretty brutal. Turns out the bishop is still here in the crypt with the same children from the story. He asks the team to say Wagwan to his buddy the Centaurian if they meet him in the next breach, which I most definitely will not. The trio head down into the sewers of Les Innocence and come across a new enemy type, the Crossbowman Crusader, experts in long range attacks wielding a repeater crossbow with explosive gunpowder darts. Then out of nowhere, another new enemy type, the Warrior Crusader, men that chopped off their limbs and replaced them with axes and swords, literally having armor in their skin and a coat of mail sewed on their flayed flesh. I honestly love Clive Barker's influence, man. Their axe also acting as a shield just to be extra annoying, and definitely one of, if not the most agile enemy in this entire game. After some intense gunplay in the hallways of the creepy castle, the duo arrive at a door, but unfortunately it's locked, so Church is forced to go solo. She climbs up into the tunnel and fights her way through, jumping down and arriving at a hole. But it's not just any hole, it's a quick time event hole, which I also failed for some reason. After that epic quick time event, we gain access to Church's second ability, the Fire Ward, which pretty much just spawns in a ball of fire, setting alight to any enemies nearby. Oh yeah, a neat feature I forgot to mention with Church's abilities is that she actually uses her own blood to perform them, so it takes away some life points from her. Honestly, thumbs up from me. This section was mainly featured in the Xbox 360 demo like I previously mentioned, and I see why, because it's genuinely the most terrifying part of the game. Being alone with an arguably tough character to master, and Crusaders lurking around every corner. But unfortunately, this part only lasts a small amount of time, and Church finds the lever to the door, opening it up and regrouping with Delgado and Black.
Miss me?
Heading outside, the trio fight their way through more enemies, and I try to get a good glimpse at Church's jiggle physics. The team then get to an area where I completely lost my mind. A big problem I have with this game is the fact that AI is complete dog shit. Like, I could forgive it considering this is a game from nearly 20 years ago, but for a game where squad gameplay is the main focus, it's kinda annoying. Anyways, after that entire mess, the trio fight a few more, I mean a lot more monsters. They reach a crypt where you probably guessed is where the ghost children reside.
Are you on crack, bruja?
Say hi to the Child Crusaders. Despite not looking like children whatsoever, probably due to sensitivity or censorship or something, they use shredded tendons of their limbs as whips to attack, going in and out of their physical form. I can't lie, these made me piss my pants when I came across them for the first time. After taking out a bunch of vengeful spirits, the trio head down some stairs and finally regroup with Jones, Rawlings, and Cole.
Everyone stay back!
Looks like they've been severely traumatized from the suffering children, especially Cole. But because Black and Cole are homies for life, Black calms her down by telling her to nerd out.
1.6 180333988.
Good. I mean, I count how many Xbox 360 games I have in my collection to calm me down, so I can relate.
I'm sorry I missed there.
Turns out Cole nerding out actually managed to unlock her second ability called Firestorm. This essentially adds fire damage to every squad member's attacks, which I probably could have taken advantage of further in the game, but I didn't. This is why you need to use your guidebooks to your advantage, people. Someone arriving later and finding whatever that is, the squad arrive at a church being introduced to Bishop Malpheus St. Clair, donning his bishop attire and for some reason having a massive forehead. Like, damn.
You reek of sin!
Starting the boss fight of the Crusades era. I will say I struggled a bit with this fight, as Malpheus uses a barrier of divine protection, whilst using the power of exorcism to control the Child Crusaders, and finally using the spell of Black Rose that creates a barrier around him, firing in all directions. After all, that is the only time he's actually vulnerable. Honestly, this boss battle is where the AI shines the most. After taking down Malpheus, his death opens up the next breach. Jericho squad head inside, taking them further back to the Roman provinces in 38 AD, being greeted with one of the most horrific sights I've ever seen. The squad come across a brand new enemy for the Roman time period, the Legionary, having their metal armor and shield fused to their skin and wielding a javelin. These enemies are pretty easy to fight, to be honest. After some Legionary killing, Delgado uses his brute strength once again, and as always, the AI is doggy doo-doo. Eventually, the squad come across another behemoth. Yay, it's so fun. Church finishes it off. Pause. And Jericho meet the Centaurian bound to a cross, but unfortunately he can't speak English, so uses Jones because screw Jones.
I am Tertius Longinus.
He explains to the squad that they have to search for Vickers for the breach into the heart of the Pyxis, and to follow the waters.
That was worse than having Ross in my head. No offense.
A bath?
Leaving the Centaurian behind, the squad make their way to the Caldarium to gain access to the corrupt city to find Cassius Vickers, fighting a few enemies along the way.
It smells like shit and death in there.
Once inside the Caldarium, filled with fire fire, smoke, and death, we use Delgado as he's the only member to be invulnerable to fire due to his epic fire powers. So yeah, this is another solo section, not as intense as the church one from earlier, but I guess it splits up the gameplay a bit. After going through an entire maze barely able to see, using the fire shield and destroying enemies with a minigun, Delgado finally reaches a lever to allow the rest of the squad to move through the Caldera. Arriving at the Roman baths, luxurious decor but absolutely covered in blood. Using Jones once again to open the door, the squad come across a mural of some hungry looking bloke. This is Cassius Vickers, by the way, a cannibalistic freak and the big bad of this time period. Delgado opens up a gate, finding a massive statue of the weirdo. Heading deeper into Vickers' palace, someone clearly got a bit too excited with the red paint, but despite that, they push on and
something's coming.
Say hello to the gladiator, an absolute beast but the intelligence of a 3-year-old, equipped with a huge ball attached to his arm by a chain and a claw on the other arm, with his weak point being the torn apart muscles on his back. I will say this is probably one of the most fun enemies to fight in this game. Switching between members to damage its back, I was having a blast, I can't lie. With that out of the way, the squad arrive at a platform puzzle section. Yeah, this game has some of those, where Jones pulls the lever again, Church does some more epic parkour, and 2 of the squad members stand on platforms respectively, allowing the entire team to move across. Don't get me started on the AI in this platform section. I'm just gonna move on before I slap Delgado's beanhead.
Pick it up, guys!
The squad move through the gardens, taking down every enemy in their path, till they arrive at what looks like Vickers' feeding ground, especially with whatever the hell that is everywhere. And look who's joined the party, Vickers himself.
You honor me. It's been so long since I tasted of both sexes.
Cassius Vickers, the governor, a cannibal and a freak in the sheets, weighing at a whopping 1,280 kg. And yeah, as you can see, he looks pretty disgusting.
Sir, the construction of this floor, sir.
Let's begin, shall we?
It's a trap, sir. No!
Either Jericho squad are the biggest dumbasses known to man, or Vickers is the smartest guy in human history. I don't know which one is true. I'm pretty sure it's the former. The squad are forced into a coliseum, very fitting for the Roman era. Imagine having this many statues of yourself. The ego on this man is insane.
I've seen this movie.
So in a fight to the death, Jericho squad take out waves and waves of enemies, unlocking more sections by using these totally cool platforms that definitely didn't make me want to rip Vickers' head off. With all the easier enemies out the way, Vickers sends his pet into the arena, the blind behemoth, armed with a club, possessing superhuman ability and strength, and completely blind using instinct alone. Overall, it's pretty easy to take down. The squad also take down another gladiator, surviving the Colosseum.
Be so gentle.
Jericho head into a room and Vickers is chained up to whatever that thing is, opening his stomach to spray out nasty excrement and blood, insanely fitting for such a grotesque character, joined by a gladiator that is completely unkillable. Like, that's even fair. So while half the team distract the gladiator, the other half fire on Vickers' stomach when it's open, till he finally gets unalived. I must have walked around this part for a good 5 minutes before realizing what to do next, even though they explained it in the dialogue.
I believe the breach is in the abyss below.
Let me push the fat bastard over then.
Black uses her telekinetic powers to push his corpse into the middle, opening the breach to the last level of the Pyxis.
How far will the rabbit hole take us this time?
Taking Jericho squad to Samaria in 3000 BC, the original site of Al-Khali.
Dear God in heaven.
Unfortunately, Leech is already there flying towards the tower.
Damn it.
As the squad approach the door, Jones gets possessed. This guy cannot catch a break. The one using Jones to speak is Antidorinu, the original founder of Jericho, and he gives us some backstory.
Only I escaped to close the breach and seal the Pyxis. I knew that my seal would not last forever, so with the last of my power, I sent a message out. I commanded my disciples to establish a sacred order to hold vigil and guard against the return of Ereshkigal and the Firstborn.
Apparently, the Sumerian demons that guard the temple each have a piece of him, so he pretty much wants Jericho to gather his pieces so he can reseal the breach, because why not?
We won't fail you.
The squad head inside a temple filled with statues, and then out of nowhere, beams of light transport everyone away, separating them. Ross's soul then gets dragged through the tower, being drawn to Black's body because of course it's Goth Mummy herself.
God, I hate when you do that.
Black fights her way through cultists to find the other squad members, unlocking an achievement along the way. finally finding Jones trapped in a cage using his astral projection to free him. The duo then arrive at the first two Sumerian demons guarding the urn containing Antaduranu's skin, called Ki and Ninlil. To be honest, these bosses were pretty easy. Shoot Ki whilst dodging her fireballs until she's dead, use Jones's astral projection to open the cage with Ninlil inside, shoot her, rinse and repeat until she's dead, successfully securing the first urn.
What? That's all of them?
Meeting up with Delgado and Rawlins.
Miss me?
Now with 4 squad members, they shoot their way through some enemies till they get to the next 2 Sumerian demons guarding the urn containing Antaduranu's flesh, called Enlil and Inanna. This one frustrated me way more considering there's a whole ass Sumerian puppet monster in the room with you. Whilst you're trying to shoot 4 sacrifices on wheels till Enlil swings out and you shoot him, rinse and repeat till he's dead, then finally unload your entire clip into Inanna, endgaming her and successfully securing the second urn. It's a lot, I know.
Can we stick together now?
Cole and Church pull up out of nowhere and the team are teleported to the last 2 Sumerian demons, guarding the final urn containing Antaduranu's blood, called Nana and Utu. Definitely the easiest boss battle of the 3. Using their flies to attack, you have to run around the disgusting room, destroy the fly sacks, and just shoot them till they're both finished.
You just got your ass kicked by a girl.
Successfully reassembling Antaduranu, and the squad teleport to the breach, meeting up with Antaduranu himself.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
He explains that he will bind himself to the breach and they will sleep till it happens again, I guess.
Our peace will only be broken when evil men again seek the firstborn.
The Jericho squad say their goodbyes to each other.
Would you like to pray with me?
I'm an atheist, sir.
I guess not then.
But Delgado, clearly being the only sane person here, refuses to be put in this purgatory.
That bastard is lying through his gold fucking teeth.
Rawlins and Delgado fight again about what is right.
Get out of the way, Billy.
But Ross agrees with Delgado and Black heads over to Antaduranu and...
Betray, and everything you love in the world is lost.
Everything I love is right here.
Delgado heads inside the breach to destroy the firstborn and put an end to this once and for all, and the rest of Jericho's squad follow.
It's your choice, Rawlings. I won't force you to follow us.
Time for the finale. They swim through some water, heading inside the cavern, then out of nowhere...
At last, the final pieces of the puzzle.
Turns out the firstborn betrayed Leech and stapled him to the wall of the cavern, and Ross commands Cole to scan the firstborn for weaknesses, but then...
Silence, bitch!
endgaming Cole and Jones in the most brutal way possible. They probably killed those characters off considering the rest of the squad have to use their abilities to take on the firstborn, and they probably couldn't think of anything unique to use Jones and Cole's abilities for, I don't know. Or Clive Barker just wanted to throw in some shock factor. I say it's the latter. So yeah, this final boss fight is pretty simple. Every time a team member gets possessed by the firstborn, you switch to them and use said character's ability against the firstborn, with Delgado's being the coolest looking one. Like, that is so badass, man. Finally using Church's blood ward, she chops up the firstborn like a kebab. And Arnold Leech, pissed off from the betrayal, kills the firstborn along with himself. So baddie turned goodie in the end, question mark?
Jericho! Head for the water and swim deep!
The last remaining members of Jericho's squad swim through the cavern whilst it's collapsing, and are transported to the start of Earth itself and the dawn of mankind, with only an ocean below an orange sky. Or maybe it's Skeg or something, I don't know. There was actually a different ending planned for this game, believe it or not. In this ending, the firstborn actually turned out to be neither good nor evil, but the high priestess of called Erishkigal enslaved the firstborn and used the power for herself. The firstborn was powerless to her as it doesn't have a soul, so Ross gives his soul to the firstborn and in the end is able to destroy the priestess. Rawlings then tells the team they are working for some other organization, and Ross and the firstborn walk away knowing they will be hunted down. It's said this was changed by Clive Barker himself at the last minute, which is very clear with how the last parts of the game feel rushed compared to the rest of the game. Even the art book itself includes concept art for the potential final boss of the game, which is pretty cool. Honestly, the ending we did get has to be one of the most abrupt endings in any video game I've ever played, but it makes sense considering hearing Mr. Clive Barker planned to make Jericho into a full-blown trilogy, with this being the first game, and even confirming that he was planning a sequel shortly after. But due to poor sales and bad reviews, it never got its well-deserved sequel, and most likely never will. But at least we have Call of Duty 387, right guys? Right? I really do think there were some great things here from the mind of Clive Barker, despite some annoying game elements, but it has that 2007 jank to it that I absolutely love and adore. There were also rumors of a potential Jericho remaster, but with Hellraiser Revival around the corner, I don't really think that's happening. But I hope I'm wrong. Please God, tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, this video took me a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time to make, so if you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing and all of that good stuff. Hopefully we can get to that 1K sub goal, but yeah, have a nice rest of your day or night. Goodbye.
Amen. With fists like these, I don't even gotta pack no heat. You can't stop me, son.